Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I am your host and commentator, WuShesty420, and welcome to Abu Dhabi in Tier 2 for IRL. Tonight, folks, we have a treat in for you as we wait for the season, as we wait for qualifying to start in the season finale of IRL Season 5. As we have a McLaren, most likely pretty sure that is Zizin, my man himself, already hopping out onto track today. Now, this Zizin has already won the Drivers' Championship too, and McLaren has won the Tier 2 Constructors title here. However, there's a very tight race in the overall constructors. Aston disqualified from the session, blocking the pit lane. So very interesting tactics there by the Alpine. But between McLaren and Mercedes are the two teams to watch tonight for the overall constructors. McLaren at 979 points, Mercedes at 934 points. So both Mercedes and both McLarens are here, so those will be the two teams to watch in terms for the overall constructors too, as well as other teams that are very close. My Williams, very close to the Aston Martins too. Alpine, right there battling for the Ferraris in P5. My Williams and Aston doing it for P7. Haas and Sauber for P9. But looks to me the Racing Bulls and Red Bull confident P3, P4 in the overall constructors though. As we'll see, Jude, my boy, will be the first one to cross the line, starting with his outlap. We're finishing up his outlap here, going into Sector 1. Very rapid, lots of battery used. The second one time of a 17.424. Going around to the first DRS straight. Rocking the beautiful Gulf livery, as we all know and love. With Zizin getting a slipstream from behind him too. Right there you see him in the background. On the battery on the back straight. With a 52.452 as we for a purple sector 2 on the battery again, going into several here where you're hanging on gear in third gear a lot through this section. Goes up into fourth gear. Battery on, and Jude, my boy, comes into the final corner. Will set a provisional pole time of 1:23.08. Zizin will cross the line. Gets a 1:22.0. As we'll try and look and see who is next coming in. Blitz in the V-carb. Rocking the Basely carb livery. Interesting choice in my opinion. Coming across the final corner. Will slide into P3 with the Aston Martin right behind him of Williams sliding into P4. As we'll see the Red Bull or the V-carb of Stark coming into P5. The Haas of Tactical will head into P5. As the Mercedes of Forrestal crosses the line, slides himself up into P2. And I believe that was Jay, one of my new signings, signed to Williams for next season, finishing in P5 with a caution in Sector 5. Who else? NASCAR finished, slotted himself into P5. Jay back in P6. As Forrestal with a 5-place grid penalty for a collision with Tactical. Very interesting. I don't know what happened there. Sorry we missed that. Stewards may have a good look at that as Zizen is in the pits. Panda also in my Williams on his out lap. Panda, I just need you to beat the Aston Martins, please. Respectfully. Love you, Aston. Love you, NASCAR and William. All out of love, I promise. Caution in Sector 3. Probably just lots of people getting out of the way. Sub-Zero with the 129. 1 as Casper in the Mercedes slots into P2. Doctor in the Alpine slots himself into P10. Trying to catch and see who's all coming in. Tactical coming into the pits as Chunk invalidated his lap. As I believe Jude will most likely be heading into the pits too. Is my guess. So the user folks that don't are just joining us now back at home, as Jude will definitely slide himself into the pits. We'll scroll on down and watch Panda's qualifying lap coming around the Rhino Bend, but only a few exciting things. Aston with disqualified for being in the pit lane, and Forstall hit with a 5-place grid penalty for an incident with Tactical we were unable to catch. As Panda coming through the chicane in Sector 1, flat out. Sets a purple Sector 1 with a 17.3. Will he be able to catch up to Zizen's time? Who knows? Fights on the battery. The DRS wing opens up. Caution Sector 3. As the McLaren of Zizen gets out of the way. I'll bleed the V card. We'll go on board with Panda. Panda coming out into the second DRS zone. Flat out, battery on. Full sending it. Dives into the corner. Finishes with a purple Sector 3. Sector 2 on the battery again. Hard braking. Staying in gear 3 in the third gear. Still looking at one beautiful Williams Golf livery. Williams, we need to drop the Vegas livery sooner rather than later because that livery was clean. In the final corner, Panda slots himself into P3. As we'll see Blitz, who is on an out lap. Starting another lap. Looking in Felix, setting himself into P14 just above his teammate with a 125.9. Stark heading into the pits, trying to look and see. Zizen down a 10th on his time. Will he be able to improve? Man has been cooking in open lobbies with us this week. Will he be able to cook tonight in Tier 2 and show the reason why he is the World Drivers Champion of this tier? Brakes deep, cleanly through the chicane. A little slide there with the rears. On the battery, DRS wing opens up on the back straight. Purple Sector 2. Finishing Sector 3 off. Zizen. Caution Sector 3. Looks like the Williams, I believe, that might be Panda, maybe coming to the pits. Yes, as Zizen wobbles it a little bit, drops his time to a 121.7. Right now sitting comfortably on pole by over a second. As Felix doesn't come in. See Blitz invalidated his lap, so he'll probably go, he's going on another fast lap. We'll try and catch and see Casper starting his fast lap. The Mercedes team at a Forstall in the background starting his. Blitz down 2/10. Could he slot up? Jay finishing, going up in a P6 with his time. As a future Williams driver, I like to see that. I like to see caution sector 3. Probably the McLaren of Jonk there. As we look at a beautiful V carb with a front wing as that car for next season. Caution sector 2. I believe just his teammate getting out of the way. V-carb livery for next year looks pretty much the same as this one right now, just with the black halo. Still looks pretty decent though, and the Ford logo here and there. But rocketing gear 4 here in the tail end of sector 3. Caution sector 2, just a Haas getting out of the way of the Aston Martin of Tactical OJ. Blitz coming in, slots himself into P4. With this Sauber behind him, Sub-Zero overtakes his teammates. Stark Diaz on an outlap. Mercedes, a 4 stole. Will he be able to do anything? No. Only be able to go up into P3. Doctor, the Alpine, moving up into P13. The Aston Martin of NASCAR. He slid himself up into P8. No, he didn't. He's on his fast lap here. Looking at tires, people are rocking with the softs right now. Few laps old, but lots of them fresh softs. As we head to hit the 6-minute mark left, caution sector 2. Looks like a V-car getting out of the way. NASCAR coming in hot there into the chicane. Low gas mode. Is he gonna lose gas outside of it? Coming in hot, down 3/10 on his time. Right now, that's not enough to improve to P7 and overtake Jay. Harvey does have some dirty air. Caution. Oh, a little bit of oversteer, losing the rears a little bit. Goes slightly wide, still keeps it on track. Almost spins, nicks the wall. He will bail out that lap and head into the pits. So we'll watch the Mercedes 4-stole. Blitz. Going on a slow lap. Looks to be heading into the pits too. As Chonk on an out lap. We'll start his lap. William probably doing a cool down. Chonk getting out of the way. The Williams of Panda on a fast lap. Oh, and validates. We'll watch Chonk. Chonk heading into the pits. Tactical most likely either on a cool down lap. Stark on a fast lap looks to be, maybe. Probably not. Felix going out again. Take a look at the Haas of Tactical. Will he go into the pits? Yes, he will. For Stark, we'll follow aboard on Panda right now, who seems to be on a fast lap. Draining that battery. Corner cutting like a champ. Invalidating. Went to go for a little lawnmower. Do some lawn mowing services here in Abu Dhabi. Very interesting way to do it. We'll stay on board with Felix for now. As we hit about the 3-minute mark here in hit the 3-minute mark here in qualifying. Probably see a lot more drivers coming out. Felix about to start his fast lap here for the Sauber, who have now gone to Audi, and delivery looks like absolute crap. Oh, spins a little bit before taking the lap. Looks to be bailing, and somehow is able to stop and go Quickly on this lap, MJ Lovin Doctor in the Alpine in chat right now. Felix doing his best to recover after slipping and sliding a little bit before starting his fast lap. He's 5/10 up on his time. Probably that makes sense because of that start. But looking to recover here on the DRS straight. In the back straight, the Mercedes. Getting some slipstream from the Mercedes. Gets in the way, gets out of the way. As we see Doctor in the background warming up his tires. We'll stay on board with Felix. Going very driftily through the chicane. Rapidly clicking those gears of DRS opening up. Flat on the battery. Trying to recover. Up 9/10. I don't know if he will be able to improve. As the rest of the grid starting to come out. We'll try and flip through and get as much as we see, as everybody hopefully will be able to make it. Oh, didn't mean to flip through there. Felix coming in. Looking like he will not improve his time, as we'll look who is on a lap. Jay is on a lap. I believe that he's right behind the Sauber, or passing the Sauber right now. He's down 2/10 on his time. Rocking the Japan livery. Going into third gear. Battery has been depleted. Jay slits it up into P4. As we'll see. Sub-Zero, who is down on his time. Caution. As we'll follow Sub-Zero as he is down. I think he's the first one who will get across and who will cross the line. Showing an improvement of time. Caution Sector 1. Probably Jay just getting out of the way for everybody. Staying out of the way. Sub-Zero. Flat out on the first DRS straight, getting that beautiful front wing view of that Sauber. Swerving his way through the chicane very cleanly. Clean exit. Hopping on the battery. DRS wing opens up. Caution in Sector 2 and 3. Jay just trying to get out of everybody's way. I didn't know I'd be spitting bars here tonight. Hopefully he does not get disqualified for parking his car right there. But Sub-Zero. To Casper, finishing off in P2 as of right now. Sub-Zero. He's improved. Will he be able to move up the grid? He will to P11. The Williams of Jude gets into P3. The McLaren of Ziesen sticks himself on pole for right now. Trying to watch Stark Diaz will stay in P13. The Mercedes of Forstall coming into the pits. Tactical, not able to improve. The Williams in the background. Slits himself into P3. Panda. As we'll see, NASCAR be able to overtake his teammate into P8. The McLaren of Chonks sits himself rightfully into P10. The V-Carb of Blitz splits the Williams for a nice P4. As we'll see, William will not improve. Jay, I think, parked his car. He's only self-handing himself in the pits, but I believe this is your grid tonight. Ziesen, the World Drivers' Champion, sitting on P1, on pole position. Casper, P2. Panda rocking in by beautiful Williams livery in P3. Blitz, one of his drivers in P4. Jude, P5. Forstall, P6. Jay, one of my future drivers for next season, P7. Nas the Astons in P8 and 9 respectively. Chonk in P10 for the McLaren. Sub-Zero and Felix, his teammate, in P11 and P15 respectively. Jay's teammate, Tactical, sitting in P12. As we'll get P13, P14 up for you next. As we head into With the V-Carb of Stark Diaz in P13 and Dr. B sitting in P14. Few grid position penalties in here that we're seeing. Getting the data information right here. First stream. No pit stops. But looks to me we are all set and ready for Tier 2 in Abu Dhabi tonight. We shall see the two teams to watch are going to be the McLarens and the Mercedes. As we wait for the 5 red lights to go on. And away we go here in Abu Dhabi. Getting a Clyde Ziz and gets away very cleanly. Lots of wide. Oh, and the Aston Martin spins in the background of William. And the Alpine of Dr. and Aston flying to the back of the grid. As we go in, Casper overtaking Ziz side by side. Are the two. Lots of grid changes. Getting a beautiful shot. Side by side are Zizin and Casper. Down. Will there be an overtake by Zizin? And an attempt. They go side by side. The Mercedes has the room. And the Mercedes of Casper will get away cleanly. As the rest of the grid, the Haas and the Mercedes of Jay and Forstall going side by side. Going into the turn, the Mercedes keeping it clean between the Haas and the Aston Martin of NASCAR, trying to get in on this too on the inside of Jay. Trying to keep a good eye across the field. Someone looks to have hit a pole. Ooh, Sean getting a little frisky up there. Everybody files in as Aston trying to recover. At some point, Zizin trying to look on the Mercedes of Casper. There's my two William boys sitting in P4 and P5. Yes, that's what I like to see. Well, caution Sector 3, Aston just trying to keep it on track. As we see the tire strategies here today, could see a 2-stop, could see a 1-stop as Zizin with DRS will overtake the Mercedes. The Mercedes of Casper behind him. Zizin defending into the chicane. Looking at it. Oh, car going wide. Caution, Aston going into the pits. Looks to be Panda with a 3-second time penalty. Looking at the Williams of Jude going on the outside of Blitz. Side by side, the drivers. Jude overtaking Blitz for P3 on the inside. Keeping it very clean. What an overtake by the Williams. There's the Mercedes of Forstall getting back on Blitz here. Caution sectors 1 and 3. Felix must have spun out there in the turn. Caution sector 1. Aston decides to DNF. We'll DNF on track. Felix struggling out there in the Sauber with his tires just spinning in the rear. As we'll keep an eye on these close battles, especially this one right in the front for P1 between Ziesen and Casper of the Mercedes and the McLaren. If Ziesen is able to win the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix, this is a very big swing for McLaren in the overall Constructors title. As Jude would love to see you get a podium here for Williams. Trying to keep an eye on everybody else coming through the chicane. Austin has decided I am out. Peace out, homeboys. As we'll look to the Forrestal, will overtake Blitz. With the Mercedes moving up. Keeping an eye on this battle between Casper and Ziesen. As we are 3 laps in. Here into the Abu Dhabi. The Mercedes boys most likely gain points unless Sean can get some action going on here and get his way up front. We'll look at, here's a quick glimpse at position changes going right now. As you see Forrestal climbing up the grid. Keeping an eye. Ooh, the Haas. Tactical looking very close there on Stark Diaz. Caution sector 1. The Haas, the Tactical spins. Going for a lawn mowing, some lawn mowing services. Spins out. As we'll hop on board with Casper here looking on Ziesen. Ziesen with a little bit of a lockup. They both get away cleanly into through the chicane. Casper rocking the Kimi DRS helmet. Kimi helmet, DRS activated. Falling in, looking to see the back of the grid too. Any other overtakes? Missed little side-by-side action between the Sauber and the V-Carb. And the Alpine of Doctor and William battling it out. Kenny back up to the front of the grid. As we'll look at tires, as probably we'll most likely see a 1-stop, maybe a 2-stop strategy. See if the safety car will come out between the mediums and the hards and the mediums. So, but keep it back on this, keeping it on interval. Trying to shuffle through the grid. Keeping on caution, sector 3, the Sauber of Felix struggling out there today. Closest battle I can see would be between Blitz and Jay. But got to keep an eye on this Mercedes-McLaren fight up in front as we are in a huge DRS train down the straights. Casper not able to look at anything coming in. Nobody able to in this front group. Looking into the rear of Sub-Zero. Stark Diaz keeping it very close. And Doctor in the Alpine. Trying to catch back up to the front of the grid. As that battle between the Sauber and the V-Carb side by side. And the V-Carb of Stark will overtake Sub-Zero. Stark spins out though. Struggling there. Oh, the Mercedes of Casper looking very close here. And the Williams of Jude trying to insert himself in this battle. Mercedes not looking against the McLaren. As we'll keep an eye on the top on our leaders here. The Panda trying to pend against Chonk. Quickly into the front of the grid. Gonna go into the TV box of Casper here now. Look at some telemetry too. Ooh, very close between the three drivers. These and lots of battery, able to defend very cleanly. Blitz trying to get in on the action too between with Jude. Trying to make a move. Jay overtaking Chunk, the McLaren. The McLaren going wide. Chunk needs to start moving up the grid. Ooh! Little shake and bake action between the Williams and the Mercedes. Ziesen still comfortably ahead with plethora of battery, as he may drive away with this. Trying to keep an eye on this close battle. Panda trying to look on the inside of Chunk. Briefly here, as Panda decides to hit the pits. I'm keeping an eye throughout the grid. Felix with a 3-second time penalty warning. Keeping an eye. Casper. 5/10, not close enough. Warrant anything. Ziesen, plenty of battery. The two Mercedes and Williams not looking through. Oh, Cena move! As the V-carb, a blitz looking in. Getting inside the McLaren of Haas, and Jay defending brilliantly against the McLaren. As Doctor trying to defend William in the Aston Martin. Looking back up to the front of the grid. These three trying to do something as we get a wonderful bird's eye view of this battle. And there are your leaders, Ziesen, Casper, and Jude in the McLaren, Mercedes, and Williams, respectively. As Jude getting very close to the Mercedes. Casper going to head into the pits. Jude will take P2. Maybe he'll get some action on Ziesen. Who knows? With some battery now, as both the Mercedes going to try and double stack here into the pits, as we're starting to see our first few pit stops. But Ziesen will pay attention to some tire. Can you look at tire data? Lots of people seem to be wanting to opt for the hards going now. So maybe we'll see a 2-stop strategy. 2 to 3 stop. Who knows? Ziesen locking it up. Jude having to go wide. Jude trying to stay close. Come on, Jude, baby. Fight him, fight him. Jude trying to do something here for the Williams. Down the straight. J2. The Williams driver for next season, eyeing Sean, going on the outside, side by side. Jay looking for the switchback. Sean losing his spins. Love taps Jay. As Jay gets through, the stewards may have a look at that. I don't know. But Jay going cleanly past the McLaren. As the McLaren loses his tires. But Jay and Ziesen and Jude fighting it up here as Blitz will head into the pits. And the Haas, Jay will take putting position comfortably. Chonk looking ahead in the pits after that incident with his tires. NASCAR will go into P5. And the Alpine and everybody else seems to be flying on through. But keeping an eye on our leaders here, as we'll probably see maybe some hards, maybe a little bit of mediums too, but keeping an eye on this battle up front. Jude with the DRS, but no ERS. Looking into, keeping an eye. Could we see something here from him? DRS opens up. He is 6/10 away. I don't know if he'll be able to do something. Trying to just stick with Ziesen, the driver's champion. Looking to show him, hey buddy, maybe I'll see you in Season 7 in Tier 1, who knows? But Jude trying to keep up with, as we'll see, Casper with an overtake. Panda with an overtake too. Keeping a close eye too of these battles. Ooh, a little bit of side-by-side action between the Aston Martin going wide. Doctor on the inside. We'll hop onto the TV pod here of William battling it out with, as he will go into the pits. Keeping an eye on the battle with the V-Carbs. And the Haas of Jay will head into the pits. As Jude, 4 tenths now. 5 tenths. Away from Zizen, but Zizen, lots of battery, has been doing wonderful ERS saving. So far, NASCAR might have been a little bit of a little rally race in there, but not able to really testify. As Panda, beautiful shot of the Gulf livery, trying to fend off against the Mercedes here. But we'll review the penalties. Panda with a 3-second time penalty, and Felix with another 3-second time penalty too. Brief shot of the position changes too. Across the grid. Looking like, ooh, the Mercedes overtaking the Aston Martin. Jude still keeping it close with the McLaren side by side between the Williams and the Mercedes. Panda and Forstall giving a run for Panda's money here. As we'll watch this, as you see Doctor there up ahead of them. Dude, Doctor going wide, losing it a little bit. Seems to be Casper. That's his time. Doctor heading into the pits with the Alpine. Panda trying to get away from this Mercedes to open that gap up. Caution, Sector 3. Must have been a Sauber spinning. Sauber J on the overtake of the V-Carb. You're rocking the Japan livery. As we see some penalties come in. Chong with a 3-second time penalty now. Looking ahead, Panda trying to defend from the Mercedes of Forstall. Will he make a move? No, he won't. Oh, a little contact there between the Mercedes and the Williams. We got that front wing action of the Mercedes. Little love tap between the two. Little action too between Jay and the V-Carb as Jay overtakes on the outside. I don't know if that was Lewis Stewart's may have a good look at that, but trying to keep an eye on all the action up front. Jude looking. Zizen, though, having plenty of battery. Jude, not so much. Will Jude and those tires, they are 11 laps old, folks. They have not stopped this race. Will Jude, caution Sector 3. Looks to be the Sauber. Oh, a little contact there between the Sauber and the Williams. 10-second time penalty for a severe collision for the Sauber, as we caught the tail end of that with the Aston Martin. Keeping an eye too, as we'll see Doctor going up in a P10 as several drivers vote to go into the pits. As Jude is within 3/10 of Zizen, but Zizen has definitely saved up his battery, not deploying it, but defending brilliantly against the Williams here in Abu Dhabi. As we'll take a look at the group behind Panda. Tim, Forstall, and Blitz still trying to insert themselves into this battle. So that's between Blitz and Forstall. Forstall trying to defend from the V-Carb. Getting away, starting to create some separation as the two leaders will head into the pits. And Casper will take the lead of the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix here with the shot of that Mercedes. Takes the lead here in Tier 2. Getting into lap 13 out of 29. As we'll see Ziesen and Jude come out of the pits. Ziesen in P5, Jude in the P6. Ziesen trying to go on the inside of Blitz. Clean overtake by the McLaren. The McLaren, though, with DRS, too. Ziesen on the battery, trying to catch up to Forrestal. Lovely front wing shot, getting that close action. Ziesen on the outside. Getting into the chicane. Hopping on the battery. Eyeing that Mercedes to Forrestal. Panda leading this little group now, as the Mercedes now looking to gain some big points on the McLaren in the overall constructors. Ziesen looking, trying to say, oh, little love tap there, probably from the front wing. Trying to battle this Mercedes for some overall constructors points. As we go to the TV pod, trying to look on the inside, not going to take it, braking a little early there. Hypes on the battery, going side by side. As he's not going to take it, but the V-Carb Blitz too. Right behind him, Ziesen will go right to the action on the TV pod. Into 6th gear. Over 150 miles per hour on the battery. Going into the braking zone. He'll dive in on the inside. And on the outside, leaving the space open for the Mercedes. Ziesen and Forrestal side by side. Both get DRS. Will Panda be able to defend? Ziesen on the battery. Forrestal right behind, inching against so closely to the Williams. Panda braking. Forrestal on the inside, trying to overtake Ziesen. Little contact in the front wing. Forrestal not able to do it. Ziesen losing it a little bit on the wheels. Ziesen, will he complete the double overtake? Overtakes the Mercedes. The Williams of Panda, who has the penalty. Will he send it? He'll send it on the outside, leaving the space for Panda. The double overtake between McLaren of Ziesen. Oh my word! Ziesen showing them why he belongs in Tier 2 as a World Drivers' Champion and in the Tier 1 next season. Oh my goodness! Somebody clip it. Oh my word, Ziesen with the clip of a lifetime. Here with the double overtake action. Here as the rest of the group catches up. Ziesen, impressive. Double overtake. Oh my gosh. Docked with a 3-second time penalty. As we see a little bit more action too here. Oh, spin by the Williams of Jude. No, my boy. No, my boy. Jude. No, my boy. Lock in, buddy. Lock in. As we'll take a look at this group of 3-2 here. Watching it on the V-Carb Blitz. Overtaking Forrestal. Panda trying to defend. Already had to defend against Ziesen. Blitz. Panda's own driver too in Tier 2. Trying to do something and defend in that beautiful, brilliant Williams livery. Yes, the glaze is going to keep on coming and keep on coming. Oops, got too far behind. Looking at side by side is the V-Carb with the Mercedes. Looking. The Mercedes on the inside. What will happen? The V-Carb defending. Brilliantly leaving the space for the Mercedes. The Mercedes of Forrestal not able to do anything. This is Panda's opportunity to try and get away. Ziesen, fastest lap. Ziesen showing why he belongs in to Tier 1 NASCAR with a 3-second time penalty. Ziesen on the hunt now, trying to catch back up into Casper. Oh my gosh, this is why we love Formula 1. Somebody please tell me they clipped that double overtake by Ziesen. Oh my goodness. I need to see that and I need to save that. Will we see an overtake chance by Blitz or Forrestal here? on the straights. Blitz saving the battery though. Forrestal looking, trying to keep an eye on the two. Little battle in the back with Chonk J and NASCAR. As Blitz looking tactical with a 3-second time penalty. Will he dive on the inside against his team principal? No, he won't. He'll stay right behind him. Very close. We'll head on board with Forrestal here. As Jude trying to catch up a battle maybe between the Haas and Chonk. Looking back up between Forrestal. Blitz eyeing his team principal in the Williams. A V-carb. Mercedes. Jude. Chonk and Jay. Keeping an eye on this little battle out in the front as we wait for Zizan to rally his way up to the front of the grid, as Chonk will head into the pit lane, or it just got out of the way and got out of the spin. Then allow Jay to slide on by through. And Chonk with a 3-second time penalty. As Forrestal looking with Blitz and Panda, no DRS. Blitz looking very close. His team principal on the outside. As Blitz will make the pass, but here comes the Mercedes on the inside. Overtaking the Williams, as we'll see from the back of the rear. Blitz, the Mercedes, defending from the Williams. As Blitz will head on the battery. DRS not open. The Mercedes to Forrestal. Will he make a move on the outside? Yes, he does. The two go side by side. The Williams too. Looking on the outside. Panda trying to do something, recovering those tires. Look worn, especially that right front tire. Will something happen here? No, it won't. Ooh, looks to be the V-carb. Blitz looks to be losing his rears a little bit. These tires might be starting to die a little bit here. Jude struggling. Lots of people struggling on their tires. Casper will head to the pits. So will his teammate. As Blitz will stay out. Jude will take P4. Zizan will now take P1. As we have 12 laps now, I believe, in the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. As that was some close action by Zizan. This driver right here, the World Drivers Champion here in Tier 2. He has had a masterclass of overtake, rightfully so, wearing the Max Verstappen helmet. Deserves his spot into Tier 1 next season. As we'll keep a close eye. Any more close battles. Looks to be the Mercedes of Forrestal eyeing up Doctor. On the straight, Doctor defending the inside, going into the turn. They'll go side by side. Forrestal looking clean overtake. Panda in the background too, trying to insert himself into this little brawl. As Felix with another 3-second time penalty, keeping an eye on this battle ahead. Oh, the Mercedes going on the inside! Overtaking Jude. Casper aggressively sending it. As Jude trying to find something here. As Blitz will head into the pits. Keeping an eye on the LP, and the Williams of Jude. Coming in. As lots of people are heading into the pits now. The Alpine of Doctor trying to defend against the Williams of Panda. Panda on the gearbox of the Alpine. Trying to look again on the inside. Not going to take it. Heads on behind the Alpine. Doctor defending. Panda sends it. Looks to be Doctor just waving Panda through. As the V-carb of Blitz heads back out. Looks to be everybody is comfortable pace. As we'll keep an eye on as it'll be Panda and Blitz seem to be the closest one. The team principal himself battling against his driver. Looking to the inside, not going to get it. Little tripod shot, rocking the Ollie Behrman Haas helmets. I think that's his Monaco. Maybe he's Monaco or Japan. I don't know. I just dropped my Pookie George Russell's livery. George Russell going on the inside of his own driver. Not able to make the move. Still has the inside line. But Blitz able to defend against his team principal of V-Carb. Very close action here. As we'll see Jay and Jude heading to the pits. Take a look at the tires going on. Seeing lots of hards now. Jay, will he opt for the hards or will he opt for the mediums? He does opt for the mediums with 10 laps here to go in Abu Dhabi. As we look at penalties, Chonk and Felix both have 6-second time penalties for track limits. And Tactical, Dr. Panda, and NASCAR both have 3-second time penalties themselves for track limits. And tires. Fresh review for everybody. Stops and position changes so far in this Grand Prix. Right now, Forstall and Doctor improving significantly from their battles as the Williams and the V-Car battling the Alpine 2 and the other. Both of my Williams drivers are battling it out. Stay in front, boys. That's all I ask. Please, as a team principal, I need you to just beat the Astons. So if you can, Panda, get up there with NASCAR, please. I'd appreciate that. Yes, we have commentator bias. So what? Casper with the fastest lap. But keeping an eye on these battles here between the Williams and between both of my drivers. Between Panda, looking good in the Gulf livery, defending against Blitz. NASCAR heading into the pits. Panda with the new fastest time in the Williams. Doctor with another 3-second time penalty. SC2 will head into the pits. Allowing Chunk to gain positions. Caution, Sector 3. Looks to be the V-car of Stark. May have gone for a little spin. But Zizen still comfortably in the lead right now. This seems to be the closest battle right now between Zizen and Panda. Not Zizen, Panda. Blitz and Panda right now. Tires. We'll show tires again here. As we have Doctor and Jay opting for the mediums. Everybody else going the hards. Blitz going on his team principal. Rockets it past him on the second DRS straight. We'll go none for right now, just to get you guys some clean, get as much action as we can with the beautiful bird's eye view shot of the Williams, the Gulf Williams livery. My livery. We love that. As Panda still trying to get back. Oh, little contact there between him and the Sauber. Oh, Felix. Stewards, they have a good look at that. I don't know if that was AI or something. Oh, my goodness. Sauber had to get out of the way. I don't know what was happening there, folks. But not good for Panda, as he may have some wing damage. Yes, little that left front end plate is missing on the Williams car. Panda, I would suggest you let Jude by as a team principal. I'd appreciate that. If you allow Jude to go by as a team move, but all jokes. Trust. As the Haas of Jay just trying to get out of the way of what is that Sauber doing? Trying to drive in a little bit. I don't know if that's... that is Felix. So I don't know what's going on. That looking... Gonna hop in here between the Alpine and the Aston Martin of William. Going side by side. The Alpine of Doctor doesn't sign anything. He gets back, having a good exit, looking in the turn. Will he send it? He will not. Going to second gear. That Aston Martin losing the rears a little bit there. As we'll look and see, both Aston Martins in a brawl here. Trying to keep a close eye on the two Aston Martins fighting out. NASCAR and Chunk, Williams and Doctor. NASCAR with the DRS and battery flying against Chunk. NASCAR looking onto the inside, side by side with the McLaren. Will overtake a lockup from him as he goes through cleanly in the chicane. The Aston Martin defending against Doctor. Doctor on the outside, caution, sector 3. As Tactical will DNF in the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. Doctor with a clean overtake here on the chicane. As we'll see the Aston Martin's teammate, NASCAR, defending against the McLaren and the Alpine. Caution, sector 3. As Chunk and NASCAR duking it out here for P8. Doctor and William for P10. As my two Williams are just keeping it on track. And I can appreciate that. But this Zizen doing the best he can to get McLaren those points in the overall constructors. Sitting very comfortably out in P1, but the Mercedes will most likely gain some points on the McLaren, and that gap will shrink going into Tier 1 race tomorrow. But the V-Carbs, I'm trying to see who has the closest. Closest action so far to get you something here. My two Williams boys looking very, very good. Blitz to Forstall. Looking mighty close there. Panda too, getting very close to Jude. Here. As we start lap 25 here, with 4 laps to go, William with another 3-second time penalty. Take a look at tires right here. We'll keep these on for now. Seems to be a lot of people are interested in this tire situation. We'll keep the tires on for the race. As Blitz trying to catch up to Forstall. Trying to see the possibility of any overtakes here in the latter half of this race. As Blitz trying to do his best to catch up. Caution, sector 3. That's a Mercedes. What is going on with Casper? Here, why is he going slow? Did he disconnect? What is going on? This could be detrimental to Mercedes. He's going absolutely aggressively slow, allowing his teammate to catch up. Felix with a 3-second time penalty. I don't know what was going on there. But this just got a little interesting. I don't know. But maybe team orders will happen here. But that was a very interesting move by Casper there to slow down as Zizen now with the 25-second gap ahead of everybody, winning the race in dominant Max Verstappen style as this teammate of the Mercedes Forster will overtake his teammate for P2. Blitz, Casper getting attacked by Blitz 2, getting a bird's eye view shot. Very close there, little love tap there by the V-Carb. The V-Carb looking on the outside, trying to go for the switchback. The Mercedes leaving in the space. Little more contact there, 2 contact again between the V-Carb and the Mercedes of Casper as the Aston Martin of, I believe that is William, must have just kamikazed himself into the wall. Looks to be as the V-Carb. Oh, Blitz looking against Casper. I don't know what is going on here. Lots of love tapping going around between the two. Blitz trying to stay with the Mercedes of Casper, looking onto the outside. Casper defending. William kamikazes in sector 3-2. Maybe just missed his braking points, but I don't know what he is doing. Aston Martin. As we look to see the V-Carb looking to go on the outside. Braking, trying to go wide. Will he go for the switchback? No, he won't. He'll stay behind the Mercedes of Casper. Throttling, getting a decent exit on the battery. DRS wings open. Closing in to the Mercedes. Low on battery. Will he set it on the inside? No, he won't. As we'll head it to lap 28. Zizen comfortably ahead by 25 seconds. Getting a little action here at the tail end with the V-Carb and the Mercedes of Blitz and Casper. Blitz looking on the outside. Casper trying to leave the space. Little love tap between the two. Blitz looking. Oh, little love tap there in the front wing again too. Trying to keep it cleanly. Caution sector 3. That looks to be Jude. They just spin Casper on the inside. Blitz overtakes the Mercedes for that final podium position. Does Casper have a response? Caution sector 2, the Aston Martin. Casper looking onto the inside. And he's not able to overtake because of that yellow flag. So I don't know what is going on with the Aston Martin here. Casper with the DRS goes to the outside and overtakes Blitz for P3 again. Ooh, we see a little lovely battle here between the Mercedes and the Racing Bull as my Williams will fill out. Press caution, sector 2. The Aston Martin trying to let his teammate by. Blitz, both Mercedes and Racing Bull struggling on battery, trying to defend each other. The Mercedes of Casper losing his rears briefly. There, as we head to the final lap, Zizen looking very comfortable ahead. Forster, his teammates, battling up for that final podium position. So we shall see this little brawl going into the final lap. We'll stay on board with this. As we get to the final lap, Blitz and Casper for the final podium position. This could have points in the overall constructors. Will Mercedes gain that extra more points against McLaren and close that gap to maybe 20? Who knows? We'll see Blitz getting very close to the Mercedes of Casper. Ooh, maybe a little love tap there. I don't know. DRS. Both have decent battery. Blitz having less battery though than the Mercedes, trying to save it. Casper on the battery. The Racing Bulls having more battery right now as they go into the chicane. Keeping it very clean. The two drivers, caution sector 1, another Aston Martin. Ooh, Blitz losing a little bit there briefly. DRS opens up on the battery. Both are on the battery. Blitz has more battery than Casper. Caution sector 1. Will he take the dive in? On the inside, no, he'll go on the outside. He'll go for the switchback, I think. Oh, and he loses it. Oh, my goodness. Oh, and he spins. As Jude and Panda will go driving by. The Racing Bull spins as Zizen wins. the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix. The Mercedes of Forrestal and Casper, they caught a lucky break here today as they will finish with the double podium for the Mercedes drivers and will gain points as Williams, yes, we'll take P4 and P5. Way to go, boys. Jay taking P5 too with Panda's penalty. Blitz in P7. NASCAR P8. Chonk with his penalties may stay in P9 as we'll watch the Sauber come across the line. That will be Felix. Caution Sector 3. Doctor finishing P10. As we look at the position changes between all of them, Stark Diaz, Sub-Zero, and William. But what a race that has been, as we will hop on board to the TV pod of our winner, who is also the Drivers' Champion, Zizen. Comfortable win by the McLaren. But biggest news tonight is Mercedes has gained some points on the McLaren. But how close will that gap be going into Sunday, in tomorrow night's race? Looking at the wonderful podium celebrations as we wrap up the season here in Tier 2. Zizen having a beautiful season himself. Drivers' Champion, much deserved, my friend. Winning the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix to just met his season here in Tier 2. As you see the podium celebrations, eyeing those up. You just love to see those. But what a race. Oh my goodness. Zizen probably with the move of the century. As your race winner, Zizen, Panda fastest lap, driver of the day, Forrestal, Doctor with the most overtakes. As here's your final finishing order right here, folks. But what a race. We had Zizen, as we'll get some data information for the stream. And for all of our wonderful, wonderful admins. Pit stops too, trying to get that briefly, quickly too. Get that. But what a race that has been. I have been your host and commentator, Rouge Shiesty 420. And we're not done yet this season, as we'll have Tier 1 racing in Abu Dhabi to wrap up Season 5 here in IRL. Folks, we will see you tomorrow night in Abu Dhabi for Tier 1 racing. I hope you guys have a wonderful evening.